Good morning, everybody. This is Linda Findley here with another episode of Journeys of Hope. I am here today to talk to a very special lady. Not only has Diane Speer gone on a couple of the cruises with us, Diane is also my sister. And so we're going to be talking to her today about her experience on, she came with us on the first cruise, and she came with us on the third cruise, and she's planning on coming with us in April 2020, and she's going to be heading up our holistic part of our program. So welcome, Diane. Thank you for joining me today to have a little chat with me about the cruise. I just first want to ask you, obviously you've known about, what we've done with this cruise from day one. I just want, if you had to sum up what you felt the cruise was about, how would you sum that up?
It's a group of organizers and founders, you and Glenn namely, who wholeheartedly have dedicated your lives full on to serving people grieving, and that the cruise is an amazing opportunity that brings that work, that desire, that passion to help people who are grieving to get out of their lives on kind of a holiday and learn about ways to take care of themselves that are unique and wonderful and typical, and also be able to experience the elements of a vacation, of community, of people who are in the same experience. So I would say this whole coming together of these hearts and minds for support, for sharing, for caring, for fun, for healing, and to learn
Very nice
ways to take care of themselves in their grief journey.
Okay, so this is like a typical question that I ask most people. And again, I know that, you and I talked about the bereavement cruise long before even the first cruise, but I don't know if you want to apply this next question to the last cruise that you participated in March, but what were your expectations going on the cruise?
Oh, well, my expectations, I was so excited that we had doubled our passengers and guests. So I was excited to see who would be coming on board and to meet them. My expectations were that we would be all together in formal and informal ways, supporting, getting to know each other, learning about each person, and communing with them one-on-one as many as possible, but also in the groups, in the sharing groups, and the lectures. And my expectations were that people would really get a lot from this, and friendships would be made. Even lifelong friendships are possible from gatherings like this, and that all the presenters would be friendly with each other and supporting each other, and we would have a good time while we were also working and serving. And those expectations were totally exceeded. The ship was amazing. The programming ran very, very smoothly. And I was able to find out from many of the guests that they greatly enjoyed the excursions, the shows, the ship, the program, everything.
What was the best part of the cruise, the last cruise for you? What did you either enjoy the most or get the most out of?
I have to say,
that's a loaded question. You can have like probably 20 answers, but anyhow.
For me personally,
yeah.
That's okay. For me personally, I greatly enjoyed that ship, especially the floor that was the central part.
Yeah.
I spent all my free time on that floor.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then I would have to say the other part was I felt really, really great about all the presenters and how people were so receptive and engaged in what was going on. And most of all, the thing that has impressed me the most is all these faces that came on board in those first 1 or 2 or 3 days while everybody's not sure what's going on. They're a little nervous. What's going to happen? They're in a strange environment, and you could see and feel this face of this anxiety and the heaviness of their grief. And in our final picture, the last day of the cruise, with all the presenters and all our guests, the brightness and the light and the shift that I'm getting chills even talking about it, the shift that you could see in their faces in that picture. That was the most exciting thing for me.
Oh, that's nice. So if somebody asked you, you travel in a lot of circles in the work that you do, and somebody asked you about whether or not they should participate in this cruise, thinking that maybe it was, a sad thing, because a lot of times people, they hear bereavement and cruise, and it kind of sounds like that might be a sad experience for somebody. So if in your circles of where you travel, somebody said, Di, I really don't think this is something for me. I just feel that it's just doom and gloom, that this would be a sad experience. What would be your response to that?
Well, I would very, very respectfully and yet honestly tell them that yes, sadness is a part of it. There is no question of that. And especially when we turn to face and embrace our grief face on, head on. However, that here is an opportunity for them to do that with a group of experts and other people who are experiencing the same kind of pain in their grief, to hold and support them and guide them and love them and care for them through facing that grief that way. And yet we do. We laugh, we cry, we laugh, and we have an excellent time. It's an opportunity to learn how to hold the dichotomy, the seeming, opposite of the oxymoron of, oh, a cruise in my grief, it's going to be doom and gloom. No, it's not. It's a way to take that negative connotation on this grief experience and the loss, which never leaves us. We carry that until we decide to transition, but to be able to hold it in a way that sheds light and joy and happiness and healing and understanding, and to make that burden maybe a little bit lighter, maybe make it a little bit more integrated, and find actually the pearl in the oyster, or the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Things like that. And I already have spoken to many people along this line, because there is a high level of curiosity, like, oh my God, it's going to be too overwhelming, and then I would also emphasize that, we have a team of experts, 12, 13, 14, who can help them with whatever does come up. It will be handled, they will be cared for and guided and supported.
Yeah, and
having a good time is also required.
Oh, what?
Having a good time.
Yes, there you go. And I think too that we've all said, many of us, I've had many conversations with, our presenters, with Glenn, with you. And I think too that one of the takeaways is that people do learn that grief and joy can coexist. And that this cruise and having this grief conference on a cruise that as a venue it just enables people to really recognize that it is possible to be on this beautiful ship, enjoy all that the ship has to offer, and then also have opportunity to be with other people experiencing that support. And so with our programming on board, as everyone would imagine, we have different workshops that are going to be taking place on specifically the days we're out to sea. And, your role coming into this cruise is actually heading up all of what we're referring to as the holistic modalities and things that will be available for people. Can you just summarize, because I think when we say workshops about grief or, coping skills, people kind of would have an idea what that is. They're going to go sit, they're going to learn, maybe interact. So in a brief summary, what is it that your part of the programming is going to provide for people who are joining us?
Okay, well, holistic healing arts is the foundational way of wellness and healing of all cultures and all medicine on the planet. And what holistic health asks us to understand is exactly what it says inherent in its word, wholeness. So it looks at the whole being. And it approaches it from natural, simple ways. So, for instance, things like self-massage or mindfulness practices or mind-body medicine, things like Reiki, which we're going to have. And we're talking about someone who does reflexology and art therapy. And we're going to have the crafts, and that's what that is. And holistic health also invites us to not only take care of ourselves in this whole way, looking at the body, mind, spirit, but also our environment. And so it takes into account everything around us that could be affecting the totality of our health, of our body, mind, and spirit. And it invites us to be responsible for that. So these tools, holistic healing art tools, are things that you do for yourself, or you have a practitioner that guides you through it. It's not like you're given a pill or a surgery, and then sent away. It works with the whole being in a way that is very unique to that being. And the modalities that we are offering are going to be yoga and meditation and breath work and Reiki and other wonderful ways of having multiple opportunities to gather tools for self-care. I think that's probably a self-compassion, self-care, which empowers a person in their healing journey and supports it even more. I hope
Well,
that
that's so perfectly and beautifully said, Diane. I mean, I love the work that you do. I'm just so excited that the people in our group will benefit from your knowledge and from your wonderful big heart and desire to help people. I mean, you've been such an asset to our program, and I not just saying this as your sister, but saying this as somebody looking from the outside in the work that you do. I just think it's beautiful, and I think that we're really blessed to have you. And we're so looking forward to you joining us in April of 2020. And anybody who has any questions about the cruise can get a hold of us through our website at www.j3hhh.com. You can call us. Our phone number's on there. You can email us. And if you need any information, you want to take a look at our programming, our presenters, all of that can be found at our website. So Diane, I want to thank you for taking this time today to talk to me about the cruise and your thoughts about it. And I will talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you. I'm very excited to be a part of the team again this year.